the West is. And also you must please understand that we have in this region a very rich culture, a culture which is quite different from Europe or from America, etc. So we don't want that culture to be swamped or effaced. Yes, we want cooperation with the West, and I think we can copy some good things from the West. But as far as our own spiritual heritage is concerned, we shall maintain it.
Good.
And so our relation with the big powers will be that of equality, and we are an entity, and so we should be respected that way.
If we were to assume that by 2025, Russia, China, Brazil, European Union and USA and India will be centers of power, what kind of alliances and rifts do you see between them and India?
I think something has already started. That is India, Japan, Australia. So, but we are keeping out China from that. And China has protested against it. Why not? When I said India, I am talking of now India, a bigger India, where we also having cooperation now, Pakistan. Though I believe China is trying that Pakistan should be weaned away from this kind of arrangement and come to that. But power of center, I see China, India, then I don't think ASEAN would make it, but I do think that some kind of combination in West Asia would come about, in Africa would come about, in other parts, Brazil and other things. But these all points will not be antagonists to each other. They will be probably having some cooperation. Where I find America not fitting is because America of today looks like a country which has lost its old traditional democratic values, which has somehow become illiberal, which somehow is thinking that what they are doing right, and in the name of terrorism they are really also crowding out some liberty. Individual liberty used to be a big pride of America. So America would be, unless they don't wake up, I think these parts will be much more open, democratic than I see today's America.
Okay.
And West would, and Britain would be just a carbon copy or hang around.
Okay.
If not poodle.
With which country do you see India's rift in the next 25 years?
Next 25 years our rift is going to be with China.
Okay.
China, because both are joints and both have the same area for influence. It would be also in this way that we are two systems. We democratic, they authoritarian or controlled. So it would be seen in the world that whether you can go ahead with democracy or whether you have to have some authoritarian system as China has. My feeling is that, and also our quarrel may be over the borders, because we have not sorted borders with them and they are claiming the territory which is ours or which we believe is ours. So that I think our trade etc. relationship will go on, because they wouldn't come to a clash, but that we would be progressing on our own way, they were, and so each would be trying to influence this region.
But
So
we do have a defense pact with them. With China?
No.
No, we don't. Okay.
No, we don't have that. And I hope not.
Okay.
So we are having some joint exercises.
Okay. Joint exercises, yes.
But no, because unless China also becomes a democratic country, open society, that I don't see happening in the near future.
But China is benefiting despite the fact that it doesn't have democracy.
No, benefiting because it's the darling of America.
Okay.
It's a dawning of the West. Because to them, it doesn't matter what system is there, it does what kind of it. Where we can we make buck.
What issues will define the relationship between these powers? Will it be water, oil, energy, population, markets?
I think most of these problems will be there, but at least first would be definitely water.
Water.
Water is a scarce commodity in India, is already a problem, and it would be. And from water then you go to the environment, the climate, all these things will go. I think the main problem is going to be water, and of course then the oil will come into the picture, because oil is very limited and everybody will. So our problem is with these kind of countries, unless we can pool some resources under the UN or some other organization, but it doesn't seem to be happening, because the West is determined to have to exploit all these
oil fields,
green emission and things like that. So they are not really thinking of the other countries. They will have to think of it.
What will be India's major strength in the global village?
Our major strength is going to be our system, our democratic pluralistic system. See,
even though we lack the infrastructure?
No, infrastructure is for economic reasons.
Okay.
I'm not saying that. That of course we will be having or struggling to have.
Okay.
But if you have this thing basic, you are bound to have other. So the basic thing is that this 1 billion people or more staying democratic and pluralistic, secular. I remember when I was India's High Commissioner in London, and Mrs. Thatcher was the Prime Minister. So Mrs. Thatcher had gone to the Soviet Union. So on her return, I asked her, "How is Mr. Gorbachev?" She said, "Gorbachev says, the country is slipping from my hand. What do I do to keep it together?" She said, "Go to India. See how for centuries, different regions, different religions, different standards of living, languages, area. I think our strength is our diversity. And if we are able to keep that way, it's keep the society open, democratic, pluralistic, and then we go on pushing, I think that is our main strength."
Despite the fact that India has a large, growing and dynamic middle class, about 300 million strong, there are as many people who are underprivileged. Where do you see them in 2025?
Probably, if not 300, at least 250 million people would be destitute under the poverty line. My feeling is that now something is trickling down, not to that extent, but the consciousness is coming there. The civil society is feeling that, look here, you cannot have two Indias. I think it was very going to depend upon the civil society and on the government. There would be difficulties, there will be disparities as they are now, but I think the government of future, may not be this government or some other government, will have to attend to this narrowing the disparities and seeing that, look here, only not 300 million people are eligible to other things. But imagine if all were to be eligible, at least 200 million more, what kind of, how many commodities we don't have, how much. So I think the effort is going to be expand this.
Okay.
Some people are qualifying to middle class every day.
Somebody just told me that it's not 300 million, it's really about 7 to 10% of India's population that is middle class.
No, I think,
No, you think it's larger.